Da 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 da. Hello, welcome back to Japan Game Junk, and wow, where are we? So, the millions and millions of future Japan Game Junk viewers, and this channel will win many major awards. Are wondering, why isn't this the junk room? Where's the upside down Sega Bina box? Where are the random consoles stacked on a shelf behind the monitor? Well, today I wanted to give some space and respect to what is likely the most misunderstood, unappreciated game consoles, being the Virtual Boy. Often called Nintendo's biggest failure, but yeah, of course financially, but honestly, it's a fun system with some fun games, and you play games to have fun, so what's so bad about that? The biggest problem were, the expectations. I was around when this thing launched, and I remember the hype behind it, and I remember things like the Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine had an interview with someone saying, yeah, $180 is too much. If it was $100, I'd buy it when it was released. So clearly there was some positivity there when it was first released. And then just, lack of sales due to the cost and the misunderstanding of the system's abilities, kind of mothballed future game development, and fewer games means they weren't sold, and so on and so on. And just like any other product that needs to have a follow-up and support after its release, it didn't do so well. So today I want to discover everything I can about the Virtual Boy to share with you, and at the same time show you the games that I have collected. Obviously, with this kind of system, the screen's kind of hard to show. Two screens there, one right, one left eye, and they both have good focal length. It's well designed. It really is. It's much better for a 3D effect, of course, than the 3DS, having the two screens. But yeah, let's take a look around on the main unit. People complained it was so big, and yes, it is big, but it is in fact portable, very easily being held up right now with a few fingers. Not exactly difficult. The whole thing is kind of light compared to how it looks, I feel. Of course, inside there are the glass and mirrors going on, but yeah, everything's plastic except for the Nintendo logos here, which are rubberized. One on each side. Not sure what these are for, but there you go. So yes, of course, the screens are here. On top there are the focus dials to help you get it to be a perfect fit. On the bottom, you have your cartridge input slot, and you have your stand holder. Here, you'll see, let me take this off, the controller port connection and the PlayLink connection. The PlayLink was the two-player cable that was never released. There was never any official game that had this. However, it has come to my attention that the pack-in game of Mario Tennis, if you installed the PlayLink, which never came out, it would detect it and allow you to play a two-player game with someone else with that. So on the other side here, we have the volume knob going up and down, as well as your headphone input. If you use this with headphones, it really is an immersive experience where you are the only one who can see and hear. So, anyway, let's see what comes with to play it easily, and that is the stand. I actually don't use the stand so much. If I'm playing the game, I don't mind, honestly, just having it off the stand and just I lie back in bed or whatever, and the machine balanced on your eyes, like on your nose, is not too uncomfortable. And it's a very easy way to effortlessly play the system. Again, you're stuck in that one place, you can only be lying back, but of course with this you are able to stand up the system and adjust it so that you can sit. So I'll do that right now. Very easy, it just kind of snaps on with a lever there. There we go. And here. Oh dear, that makes it harder to see, doesn't it? So, once this is stood up, and let's do it the other way so the screen is visible. There we go, the legs are open, and let's move this up here. Wow. It's pretty uncomfortable. Maybe I can adjust this a bit down. In fact, I should be able to. Unscrew and move down. There we go. Still a weird angle for me, but that'll look a bit better. So, in addition, we have, now attached to the system, the game controller. And here is another oddity, is that, again, 2D pads, as you might expect for 3D stuff to walk around, but the actual power switch is on the controller, which makes sense if you're planning to, you know, do things with your eyes being covered, and you can access it very easily. However, Nintendo always gets a bit greedy with their add-ons, right? So, the system itself is powered usually by a battery pack on the controller. Okay? Oh, there you can see there are also L and R buttons on the back. And it fits onto those, you know, those control, I'm sorry, these, you know, the power connectors here. But instead of using batteries, I believe it went through 6 AA's faster than anything else ever made, you could get a piece of plastic. This piece of plastic with those metal contacts, you know, where were they? You can see that. And that could slide onto the controller as such. Okay, but now, how is it getting... Now that makes it huge, as you can see. The battery pack is similarly sized. But there's no power coming out. What does it use? You flip up the cover. Literally, you take the power cable from a Famicom or Super Famicom system. Again, NES, Super NES in the US or elsewhere. And you plug that cable into the box. Close it up. There we go. That little box to let you save... Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, I don't believe in reshoots or retakes. We're going to keep this thing right on going. Thanks for joining me on that trip. Let's be careful. So, once again, this little battery box here, this plastic thing, not battery box, I'm sorry, this plastic piece of plastic with 2 metal contacts at the time cost $30. It did include the power cable, but of course, how many people would have a Virtual Boy and no home console? Seriously. And what gets me is that if we close it up here, look at the size of that. Why not just make the controller a little bit bigger and just plug in the power cable directly? Being a little bit greedy there, Nintendo, but still, it is a very protruding, yet still neat system, and you can play without much problem. So, anyway, there we go. That is how it is all set up. When you have a cartridge, it goes into the machine itself, and not into the controller where you have the power adapter, so it is a bit fiddly. Whoa! Hello again. It is a bit fiddly, just like this stand here. To turn the power off and change all... Oh! You can see me in the Virtual Boy lens. Hello. Hi. Okay. So yes, indeed. Now, so a bit about this one. I was lucky enough years and years ago to find a Virtual Boy boxed with everything, including an extra AC adapter plug there, like this. And it was 5,000 yen at a used store in, I believe it was Oyama in Tochigi. And then I ended up a year later, when I was still doing this kind of thing, selling it off to an American who was living in China, along with all the games I'd collected. And still, I'd made some profit and thought it was good, but of course later on my collector's streak came back, and I was very much regretting this. Then, about 2 years ago, I found this model of a Virtual Boy in the box, but with no battery pack on the controller, and no power plug to plug in. The people at the store did not know that you use your standard Famicom power plug, so they marked it as untested and unworking without the necessary power cable. Luckily, I knew that it was possible to play, and I didn't want the battery cover thing anyway because I don't want to use batteries with this thing. So, I could get it for, I believe, 7,000 yen boxed, and with my preferred power unit. It was a nice deal. So anyway, it was a good find, and yes, since then I've been trying to enjoy the Virtual Boy and all of its goodness. So, I guess what we'll do first is I'm going to, sorry, I'll probably be making lots of breaks in this video, but I want to show off all the games that I have. I believe, other than 2 very rare games in Japan, both of which I've seen in a store but did not want to pay the very expensive prices for, I do have every game that was released officially in Japan. I, of course, don't have any of the games released only in the US here, as they were not sold here, and I don't want to pay huge amounts for shipping and such. And also, I don't have any of the homebrew games that are now very popular, but very expensive you can find online in limited runs. Yeah, it's not going to be very easy to show off these games due to, of course, the screen type. And I'm sure, though, if you want to look around online after you watch this, you can find many people who've emulated something or done some, I don't know, whatever. But no matter what, unless you're actually using it, the machine itself, you cannot enjoy the true 3D characteristics. So, the first thing I'll do is just put in any game randomly, and so I'll probably put in the cheapest, most junky game I have, just so it has something playing on the screens and playing sound while we continue. And that is the first from T&E Soft. T&E Virtual Golf. Look at that fantastic label. Now, one thing that I hope is coming across that I want to peek at is, I don't know if anyone's ever addressed this before, but why does basically every Virtual Boy game on the label have, so turn on the light here, an embossed number? Can you see that? There's an embossed number 22 right there above JPN. Most of the games I have a embossed 22, but some are different. And I find that very strange. So I'll be keeping a look at that. Also notice the dirty label. That's how I bought it. But it was cheap. Now, the game itself is not too special. It's just a game of golf, all in red, of course. But I feel it's a fun game. It's a decent enough game of golf, and you know, if you like golf games and you're playing the Virtual Boy, why not play this Virtual Boy golf game, T&E Virtual Golf? So now I'm going to plug this in and just have this going in the background while I go through everything else. Let's see here. So here you do label side up in the back, plugged in. All right. Now it's in. So on the controller here, we'll turn it on. And what comes through? Nothing yet. Let me fiddle with the cables. Oh, I heard that. Trying to look through here. Oh, there it is. So, wonder if it is visible at all from any angle. Right. Push the buttons. You can see me in the reflection there. I'll try to put it down a bit more. As you can hear, it's not the best music, the best sound. Oh, there we go. Just because something's flashing, that's good enough. And tightened up. There we go. If you enjoy that, then please keep enjoying it. So, I'll continue on now, just showing off the various things that come with the games and such. First, you know, it's a little bit grating. I'll turn it down. Yeah, that's where the volume is. A little bit down there. Okay. But you can hear and see that it is in fact working. So, here, I'll just show you what an unboxing experience is like for a game. Here is V Tetris. Very much not rare. But now, this game box is the same as the US original Game Boy box size. In Japan, actually, the Game Boy boxes were a bit on the smaller side. So there we go. And let's take a look inside. What comes? As if new, inside, you have like a paper liner and manuals, and the game is in a plastic bag. Let's open it up. Wow, very dirty, but looking like that. Okay. And you have your registration card for BPS. There we go. Bulletproof soft. There you go. I wonder if I send this now, if I'll have anything coming back. Get a warning sheet telling you to be careful. Every Virtual Boy game came with this. How to not kill yourself or hurt yourself playing the Virtual Boy. And then the manual. A square manual is very common. Yeah. Very nice. Inside, even though the game's not in full color, the manual has colors and such. They're usually well put together. Alright, and I'll put this back. And that's what it's like inside a Virtual Boy game box as new. Only it's not as dirty if you buy it new. I always find it difficult, you know, when you put stuff in the box, like it has that last bit you have to push in, and this thing down here, it's always like kind of holding it back. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't, I don't know. Kind of undo the bottom part to push it all the way in. Then once it's in, you gotta close it up again. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't know. Maybe you do. Okay, there we go. So that was V Tetris. I'm guessing for virtual Tetris, although that's never been really made clear. Also, other very much not rare games. Next, also from T&E Soft, makers of Virtual Golf, is perhaps in my opinion, maybe the worst game, which is Red Alarm. It's a 3D shooting game that's all wireframe, but it is really, really unpolished. And if you play the game, it just has this, like the name of the game, like it's almost like it's a developer's copy, and it just has the name of the game constantly rotating and showing on the background, and the name of T&E Soft and stuff. It's really weird. It's worth experiencing, but it's definitely just not very good, you know. And then probably the most fun game for me to play, which is Galactic Pinball. It's just a fun pinball game with good enough graphics for monochrome, and the shoulder buttons are really good for the flippers. They feel really nice. It's just a good, fun pinball game. Doesn't need to be in 3D, but it's nice that it is, and it's just a fun game. And it's one of the cheapest games to find, so get a Virtual Boy and get Galactic Pinball. Wow, you can almost see the golfer swinging in the demo there. Okay. Now, all the other games I have are not boxed. 3 more have a manual, but are not, in fact, boxed. So next one is, I'm not sure if a version came out in the US, I think not. It's Virtual Pro Baseball 95. Here I have it with the manual from Kemco. And, yes. See here? Nice, really easy to understand color manual telling you how to play. Yeah. It's wacky and it's fun, but, you know, it's just baseball. Now, sports games with balls, they are very, they're very fun on this, because you can really have depth with how you do the balls. But anyway, here, let's check the number. The embossed number on this is 12. 12. Wow, okay. There we go. And light off, thank you. Next we have, as there is a little motor scooter outside delivering mail. If you don't live in Japan, usually it is a motor scooter that delivers your mail, not a big car. So next we have Vertical Force. Just a normal vertically scrolling shooter from Hudson. Fun, uses some 3D effects, but the 3D isn't really integral to the gameplay. But yeah, it's a fun game. Should I join the Hudson Humor Network? I think I should. But yeah. Nice full color manual inside, and there's even a story. There you go. Read all that. Yes. I hope you enjoyed the story, hitting pause to read. Thanks, Mel Bike. Oh, I forgot to check. The vertical force embossed number. It is... Where is it? There, it is 909. Okay. Next, we have probably the most famous Virtual Boy game, and one that basically everyone with a Virtual Boy had, and that is Teleroboxer. For some reason, only this one has the smaller Japanese Game Boy-sized manual. But yeah. It was very interesting and good use of the hardware, but not so fun. I found it to be very, not fun. If it was kind of Punch-Out style or something, it might be better, but yeah. Teleroboxer, very, very famous game. Almost every Virtual Boy owner had this. And the embossed number is... Oh. Another 22. Wonder what these embossed numbers mean. Next, we'll go through, I have, just quickly, 7 more games here. 7 more, again, not a huge library that I have, but not a huge library for the system. So next up, we have the Pack-In game, which actually, ironically, did not come with my otherwise fairly complete box, which was Mario Tennis. Actually, I should take that back. I don't know if there was a Pack-In game in Japan. There was nothing on the box. Maybe only the US had Mario Tennis included. Anyway. Again, typical tennis game, but with the Mario characters. Lots of easy gameplay, easy and fun. And oh, there's the embossed number. Oh, 19. 19 is embossed in this label. Okay. Oh, and if you didn't see it before, yes, these are the dust covers, which unfortunately are lost for some used games, but yeah. Not really so helpful as the connectors themselves are fairly ingrained deeply in the holes, so kind of hard to get dust in these things. But yeah, Mario Tennis, surely a game you have played if you have had a Virtual Boy. Next up is, I'm not sure if it was Japanese only, but it definitely was all over the place in Japan. It is Tobidase Panibon for Panic Bomber. I have so many versions of this game. PC Engine CD, Game Boy. I have Super Famicom. I have so many of these things. And, oh, there's the flash gone. I forgot to turn that off. A little bit dirty, but again, it's a fun game. Doesn't really use the 3D so much, but yeah, if you have the system and you want this game, it's a fun game. Panic Bomberman. It's a puzzle, you know, kind of like Puyo Puyo style game. And let's see if I can find the embossed number here. I think this is the only one that might not. For some reason. I looked for this before and I couldn't find one on this one. Oh, someone got a hole in on the golf game. There's your applause. Yes, this one for some reason does not have an embossed number. Let the mystery continue. But yeah, Panic Bomberman, puzzle game similar to Puyo Puyo / Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine / Kirby's Avalanche. Next up is maybe my favorite, maybe second favorite, I don't know. But a fun game, honestly, a fun, legitimately good first-party game, Wario Land. Virtual Boy Wario Land, you know, very similar to Super Mario Bros. 3 Wario Land in its concept. I believe they came out about the same time, and yeah, it's fun. It's just a fun platforming game of Wario Land, and if you enjoy the Wario Land games, then yes, this is the only way to play this one, and it's worth it. Please, play Wario Land. It's fun. Go around and shoulder rush enemies and do fun stuff. And if I check for the embossed number, don't want to use the flash unless I have to. Yes, there it is there. It is 22. Another 22. Okay. 4 more. Next up is a very misunderstood game, being Mario Clash. A lot of people got this game and expected a real Mario game like Super Mario Brothers, but this is a remake of the original Mario Brothers where you're running around and bashing crabs and stuff. It really uses the 3D effect well. It could have been remade into 2D and you didn't have to have the 3D, but for what it is, it's very good. And I like it, and I wish other people did too. Let's search for... Oh, there it is, the embossed number, as you might have guessed. There, 22 on the H. Hope one day to figure out what these numbers are. Next up, we have virtual fishing. That's pretty much it. From Pack-In Video Software. It's fishing, and it's 3D, but you don't really see the 3D so much. It's just, well, there you go. Virtual fishing. This one also has a 22 embossed on the bottom right. Alright. 2 more. Now we're into the ones that are a bit rarer here in Japan, and a bit more expensive when you find them. So, next is Jack Brothers. I know everyone's a big fan of Jack. So yes, from Atlas, this is called Jack Brothers, Jack Brazas no... Oh, it's hard to read, it's so small. Meiro de Hiho. So, Jack Brothers doing Hiho in a maze. That probably has something to do with the series, yeah. Jack Brothers is the spin-off of that RPG, which name is not coming to my mind. But this is actually a very fun kind of puzzle platform game where you have to collect stuff to get to the exit. There we go. And let's see, is there an embossed number? Indeed, there. 22 again. Jack Brothers. Very fun. And the last one I have here is not released outside Japan and is Space Squash. Space Scotch. It's if you ever saw or played the Power Glove, there was the Super Glove Ball game where you have the ball and you throw it against the wall in the back and you've got to come back and get it. It's basically the same thing. It uses the 3D effect to show the ball leaving your field of view and coming back in and such. And yeah, it's a simple sports puzzle kind of game, but kind of rare, so kind of expensive when you find it. And this one has, indeed, where is it? There it is. 22 again. Embossed 22. So, there we go. That's everything I have regarding the Virtual Boy. Again, the 2 games I do not have that were released in Japan in very limited quantities. One was a horror game where it's like a text adventure, but you're going through a haunted house. Like a visual novel, virtual novel game. And the other one is an incredibly rare Gundam game. Like, I've only seen it twice in person at different stores with Surugaya. It might have even been the same one. And each time it was over $1,000. And don't quite want to pay that because, again, I'm into the junk in-game in Japan. So, anyway, that's it. I will now turn this off, but maybe I'll be playing some Virtual Boy for a while, because guess what? It's fun. And games are supposed to be fun. Gimmicks are fun. Everything's fun, and fun is fun. And I'm fun. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and see you in the virtual world. Da 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 da.